Hi, welcome to Chats with the Chaplain and welcome to our final video in the rest series. I heard a term called hurry sickness and I thought, what a great term, because I think it's something that a lot of us suffer from is hurry sickness. We kind of wear being busy like a badge of honor almost. It's become a bit of a status and it's our normal response to how are we? I'm busy. And I think it's something that we need to attend to and be a little bit careful of. We do tend to rush from one thing to another and fill our lives so much. And we talked in the last videos about how rest is really crucial to our well-being and actually helps create a bit of a buffer zone for us when crisis and stress hits. So this video is actually all about creating margin in our life and creating space in our life to do those things such as rest and the things that we value and enjoy. Having margin in your life is really good if you often feel frazzled and rushed and like you're going from one thing to another and there's not enough time in the day or week. And I know a lot of us feel like that, and with really valid reasons as well. That's why it's even more important to actually create margin in your life. Think of it like a bit of an emergency fund for when unexpected things hit in your life that you just need time to attend to, or that you're going really hard and you do need that space in your life to rest and recover. So think of creating margin in your life as a bit of an emergency fund. So what do I mean by margin? Let me read you a quote. Margin is the space between our load and our limits. Margin is the gap between rest and exhaustion, the space between breathing freely and suffocating. It is the opposite of overload. I love that quote, and it's a great picture of what margin is. And there's another term called Sabbath, and it's a bit of a spiritual practice. Sabbath is the idea of being renewed. It's an invitation to pause, to stop, to rest from work and enjoy what God created. Sabbath comes from the word Shabbat and Nuach. I'm not sure I've pronounced that correctly, but it's a verb. What it means is to rest, to cease from work, to abide. And I love that idea, having margin and space in our life where the purpose is to rest, to be still, to be present, and to actually enjoy what we get to live in and enjoy the people around us. So what might margin look like in your life? Creating margin in your life might look like little things. It might be having enough time in the morning to stop and have your coffee without doing anything else at the same time. It might be getting up that little bit earlier so you're not rushing to work. It might be creating time in the morning to do your workout or to do some journaling. It might be creating a bedtime ritual so that you're actually slowing down at the end of the day, or going to bed a little bit earlier. Creating margin in your life can also look like scheduling time so that you're not rushing from one activity to the next and you've actually got a bit of space in between, or a moment to pause, a moment to catch your breath before you go on to the next thing. It can look like scheduling time in your weekends so that you've actually got time to be spontaneous or do the things that you value and enjoy. It's really important to schedule these things. So when I talk about creating margin and space, schedule it in your calendar. Block out times that are actually not full of anything. It's time to do nothing, or it's time to engage in something that you really enjoy and you value. And sometimes we do need to stop and take pause and look at our calendar and look at our life and look at how busy it is and recognize where we might need to create margin. Now we can do it in those small ways where we've got those little spaces in between activities, or just getting up a few minutes earlier so you're not so rushed. And sometimes it is setting aside a day for a Sabbath or something you enjoy, or looking at your calendar and understanding, where do I maybe need to cut back? Because sometimes we've overfilled our calendars and our lives to the point where we've got no margin, and that's not what we want. So stop and think about what you value, what's important to you. Does your calendar reflect that? Does it reflect the life that you want to live? So take the time to look at your week and look at your month and look at the things that you do and make sure they're aligned with your values. Make sure that you're creating space and margin in your week so that you've got times that are blocked out where you're not filling it with anything. Because we do have this sort of need sometimes to fill every space and every minute, but it's really important to have those times that are blocked out just for nothing or to allow you to be spontaneous. This is really important, and it does involve setting boundaries and learning to say no, which I know is really difficult, but look, rest is essential. And just to recap on the series that we've done, you know, the reason we create margin is to allow space for recovery and rest, and to allow space to do the things that we value and love. So we talked about rest being essential to both our bodies and our minds. It's really crucial to well-being. It's important for our life satisfaction, for our relationships. It's important for stress management. It's important for so many things. So rest is really crucial. We talked about active rest versus passive rest, engaging in things that actually recharge us and being engaged in the type of rest that we're doing. So not just always flaking in front of Netflix on the lounge, but maybe engaging in something like a dance hobby or going for a hike in nature, and really being engaged in rest that is recovery and switching gears and helping us to replenish. And finally, we just spoke about margin, creating space in your life to breathe, creating space in your life where you get to be spontaneous, you get to have that rest, and you get to do the things that you enjoy. So I hope you've enjoyed this series, and I hope you find a little bit more rest in your life. Chat to you soon.